What's the funniest reason you've been called into school to collect your child? I got called to pick up my 9-year-old daughter during art class. The secretary's voice was trembling and she just said, "Please come immediately and you might want to bring a change of clothes." My stomach dropped. Change of clothes? What could a 9-year-old possibly do that required wardrobe backup? When I arrived, the parking lot was chaos. 3 custodial vans were parked out front. Maintenance workers were carrying industrial fans and what looked like hazmat equipment. The receptionist was wearing a face mask and just pointed toward the principal's office while breathing through her mouth. I noticed she had air fresheners lined up on her desk and kept spraying something every few seconds. As I walked down the hall, I could smell something absolutely horrific. Teachers were propping classroom doors open with fans blowing outward. One teacher was on the phone saying, "Yes, we may need to evacuate the entire wing." Evacuate? My mind raced through every possible scenario. Had my daughter brought something rotten, dead, chemically dangerous? I passed the nurse's office where 5 kids were sitting outside in the hallway, all looking green around the gills. One was dry, heaving into a bucket. Another kid was crying, "I can't get the smell out of my nose." The principal was waiting with the school nurse, a maintenance supervisor holding industrial cleaning supplies, and what looked like the district's crisis management coordinator. "Ma'am, before we begin, I need to inform you that this incident may require temporary building closure," the coordinator said, pulling out a tablet. "Do you consent to us documenting this for insurance purposes?" I was panicking. "What did she do?" "Ma'am, we need to ask. Does your daughter have access to any unusual items at home?" the principal asked, looking genuinely disturbed. "Any expired food, chemical experiments, dead animals?" I was completely lost. "No. Why? What happened? Is someone hurt?" The nurse stepped forward, still wearing a medical mask. "Well, she brought something to school today that caused quite an aromatic situation. We've had to call in professional cleaning services." Professional cleaning services. My daughter was going to be expelled. I was going to be liable for fumigation costs. I started mentally preparing for lawsuits and insurance claims. "Multiple classrooms had to be evacuated," the coordinator added, taking notes. "We need to understand the source of the substance." The principal opened his desk drawer like he was handling biohazardous material and pulled out an empty lunch container with rubber gloves. She told everyone this was a special science experiment from home. She was charging kids 25 cents each to smell it. 25 cents. My daughter was running a biological warfare operation at elementary school. I stared at the container, trying to figure out what could be so toxic that it needed professional hazmat response and building evacuation. The maintenance supervisor was spraying industrial-strength odor eliminator on his hands. The nurse was organizing incident reports. The coordinator was still writing furiously. I braced myself for the worst. Rotten eggs, sulfur, some decomposing animal she'd found in our yard. The principal cleared his throat. "Before we reveal what it was, I need you to know that your daughter's marketing skills were impressive. She had a whole pricing structure." Pricing structure? Now I was picturing my 3rd grader as a biochemical entrepreneur with profit margins and customer demographics. The maintenance supervisor finally spoke up. "Ma'am, your daughter brought a container of durian fruit to school and convinced half her class to pay for the exotic smelling experience." I blinked. Durian fruit. 47 kids lined up to smell the world's most pungent fruit, the principal said, trying not to gag. "The art room still smells like a combination of rotten onions and gym socks." I apologized profusely, collected my future exotic foods entrepreneur, and spent the drive home explaining why you can't monetize biological warfare at elementary school. The next day, 2 parents asked me where I'd bought the durian and if I had any more.